Hello guys, this is my Module 7 post on strategy using the POST system, and here we go. So in my case, the people, the P of this module, I did it last week, talked about struggling farmers, and this is somewhat of a recap and some new information. So first of all, starting with the WHO, these are farmers all across the United States. Age generally 40 plus years old. It's an older demographic. Not many young people are entering this field, and that is definitely a problem area. And finally, it's a male-dominated demographic with over a 5-to-1 ratio. And this dates back all the way since farming was originated. It's not a female. It's not an area where females specialize in. It's a growing field. It's grown over the past 20 or so years, but it's only grown to a point where it's 14% compared to the 86% male demographic, and it's just because it's tradition partly, and also the work needed. It's a very labor-intensive job, and not that women can do it, but males have always done it, and the tradition, the father teaching the son, it's passed down from generation to generation. So. What binds these people? They're trying to build a better future for themselves and their family. This brings farmers together all across the country, all across the world even. It's a very knit, tight, close demographic. Farmers are more than willing to share information, help each other out in times of need, and lend a helping hand. And it's all because we're all in the same boat here. There's no farming family that's really, really rich, and if they are, they're in the Midwest area where they have hundreds of thousands of acres of land to work off, and the amount of maintenance it takes to do those, the amount of money it takes to do those is one thing. But farmers all across the country are all very much the same, and it's what brings them together, and it's also what's creating problems. What is their reason for getting together? Like I said, sharing farmer strategies, facilities, equipment, the need advice from one another, and trust means everything. Farmers trust. The trust that farmers place in one another is very important, because it's very easy for a farmer to try to gain an advantage over somebody, but really in the end it doesn't really help you that much. Every farmer is in the same boat. They produce a product, whether it's milk, plants, or beef, and they all sell it to distributors, and those distributors charge a flat rate, and that's that. And it's really a tight, close niche family, which I've said multiple times now. But everybody looks out for one another, and everyone is willing to share information. Continuing on, what did I talk about? They share and discuss info relevant to the job at hand. Newer technology is slowly working its way through the farms, and others, they really need to know whether it's worth the investment. A farm actually in my town back home recently spent $2 million on a system that requires no farmhand to milk cows. It's all done by machine, and the cost was over $2 million, and the time it took to build was over a year. But they've already seen an increase in revenue, and obviously an increase in time spent away from the farm, which, as you get older, is very important to some farmers. They want to, have a chance to enjoy retirement, enjoy some years where they can travel and be with family and friends. So this has been talked recently, and it's what they've been talking about for quite a while now. Who is a typical member? It's an older gentleman with a lower quality of life. Again, not lavish, not rich, but not poor either. They're able to raise a family, and they're able to, live in a nice house, live in a house, and usually tend to raise 3 to 5 kids. It's usually a bigger family. Very low experience level with technology, just because they're always at the farm, they're always busy doing stuff. They're out in the fields, really no time to sit and scroll through Twitter, scroll through Facebook like all of us college students are used to. used to nowadays. They aren't as in tune with social media and other electronic devices. They're fixated with tradition and routine. Get up at the same time every morning, do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's the typical lifestyle of a farmer. It is what it is. The work has to get done. And then the hours again are somewhat ridiculous, 60 to 70 hours a week, and the pay rate for someone who does that amount of money is not anywhere close to equal. So where they talk, word of mouth. Farmers will talk to other farmers all the time. Very friendly group. It's obviously on the telephone. They need to call in orders. And they need to just when they have a question, they call them up. And a few is obviously social media. It's rare to find a farmer on social media, and if they are, they hardly ever use it. So, moving on, opportunities for conversation, discussion, and content. You need to take advantage of the recent surge of conversation centered on milk prices. With the Farm Bill expired for 2013 because of the government shutdown, this makes the conversation in the past week or so has really reached a climax, and farmers need to take advantage of this recent surge to use it for their benefit. And I think, the fact that this Farm Bill has expired has made it so that farmers are reaching out to one another, trying to find information, just to see what it means for their farm and their industry. And then also, newer methods of farming. I've talked about it with the farm in my town here. Increased technological footprint. It would mean a decreased work for farmers, but also a higher cost. So it's an interesting topic. It's a really hot button issue right now, and it's definitely an opportunity where, if given the right information, farmers can make the right decision for themselves. Problems the community needs help with. Again, untapped resources such as social media. Very few members utilize anything. Pictures would be ideal. It would be an ideal way to get into this, to get them into this area, just because it's easy for them to understand. Posts, sometimes, I guarantee they're not going to know what a hashtag is. I guarantee they're not going to know what a tweet is. So I think pictures for them to visualize something would be huge, and then slowly work their way into post. And it would benefit the whole community, because for the farmers to see something, for farmers to reach out to multiple parties across towns, across states even, would be hugely beneficial to them and to the whole industry as a whole. So one of the objectives I want to really highlight was to create a presence for this community on social media. And the strategy I had to go with that was to simplify the process to reach the broadest number of farmers. It's going to be hard to break into this niche, to this group. I've used this picture again. The picture in the background really shows what a farmer is on social media, and it's just a really old gentleman on an iPad, looking awfully confused. So you need to simplify the process, and this means, like I said a little minute ago here, using pictures, using short sentences, no hashtags, because they'll only ask questions about the hashtags. So as simple as possible, it would be the best way to go in. Would be the best way to attack this. And again, it all relates back to this objective: is they need to create a presence for this group on social media. There is none present, and it's interesting to think what it could be with one. And the work that it needs to go in is demanding, but it's definitely doable given the right circumstances. Number 2, promote self-organization within the demographic. Farmers are independent to a sense here, but they're very reliant on family, friends to do the job. So a strategy to reach this objective would be to empower the public and specifically the youth. The youth, they go to school. They go unlike their parents, they go to school in a time when social media, Facebook and Twitter are huge, and a lot of their friends will be doing it, and they understand what it is way more than the older generation does. So empowering these young people to maybe take over, maybe make their farms account, maybe they can utilize it, and I can empower them to teach their families, their parents, how to use it in turn. So again, empowering the youth to maybe make an account centered around their farm, their family, and then in a sense, the parents will ask like, "Oh, how's it going?" Like, and then the kids will in turn teach them, this is why I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is why, and it's cool. And then the parents will pass the information down to the kids, and the kids can post it on Twitter or Facebook or both. So finally, objective 3 would be to inform the group of the latest developments in the farming technology. There's a lot of developments here, a lot of different equipment's being used, a lot of different farming techniques are being used. So I really need to listen and to cast a wide net of avenues in which to listen for information. This means looking on blogs. It's huge now, as far as data and graphs and videos and the stuff like that. And it's utilized probably the most of any social media network among farming communities. And then again, Twitter, because that's blown up the past week or two here with the milk prices talk conversation. So looking at multiple fields, looking at multiple social networks to continue to listen for information will be the best way to know what's going on, what's the best way to get into these groups, what they care about the most, and then again how to relate to these people in the most simple and most definitive way possible. And that all comes back to listening to what they want, listening to what they need, listening to what interests them, and doing that with a wide net of avenues. So that is it for my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good start to your week. Thanks.